Welcome to my second class on Eidolons. Today we are focusing on making the most of your Eidolon pals to get stronger. There's a lot to get through here, so let's jump right on in. Check out my Eidolons 101 if you want the absolute basics. The first thing you can do to make your Eidolons stronger is leveling them up. You just need to feed them experience crystals. Their double can't exceed yours and they cap out at 99, so no S-level Eidolons. You can farm the crystals in the Temple of Eidolons, all of the modes, in the Infernal and Whirlpool abysses, and at level 60, if you have a few Eidolons, you can start running Eidolon Chronicle, and as that also drops them. And if you're feeling strong, you can also get pure crystals in bundles of 10 from Solo Vault of Eternity, starting at level 80. Next up, Crests. If you're running the Temples of Eidolons, you'll wind up with a bunch of Crests. These are the key to strengthening your Eidolons, as they both increase their flat stats and activate their star buffs. The normal crests can be found in the mysterious armor emblem chests, which you can open for a random number of a random element, and the greater ones drop in the Temple of Eidolons. When you hover your mouse over the stars in the Eidolon menu, you can see how much you need to feed them for each stat to activate the stars. However, you will need to evolve them in order to activate the second, third, and fourth star. And for that, we're on to the next step. Evolution will increase your Eidolon stats and allow you to feed them more crests. To evolve to 2-star, you will need a second key, 4 base crests for their element, and 30 small experience crystals. For 3-star, you will need a brilliant evolutionary bead and a third key. For the final star, you will only need an oath ring, but your Eidolon needs to be level 80 and fully fed until the 3rd star buff is active. We'll talk more about star buffs in a bit. For now, we're focusing on making your Eidolon stronger. So, next we'll talk about accessories and tokens. All Eidolons have 3 gear slots. The top 2 are for accessories. All Eidolons can equip all accessories, but each accessory will get a random buff for a random Eidolon when crafted or opened. For level 40 to 60, you can craft them at a crafting NPC, like in your guild hall or Navia. For level 70, you can get them as a prize for the Eidolon Gossip quests in Navia, or exchange them for Eidolon coins at Senior Eidolon Researcher Gardener in Navia. You can get Eidolon coins by selling extra key fragments to him. And if you're just starting, this may seem far away, but if you run the Temple of Gaia often, the Gigas, Zuriel, and other Eidolons you get for free will add up over time, and you can sell those off. The level 80 accessories drop in Elite Sky Tower on floors 41 through 50. If you're just starting out, crafting a few level 60 accessories for stats will be good enough for now. You can worry about matching skills and buffs when you get a special main or waifu or husbando. The 3rd slot on the gear tab is for an Eidolon token. These are special accessories unique to each Eidolon. You should have received one for your starter Eidolon when you were doing quests, but otherwise you can get them from fighting Eidolons or on the Dragon Paragon. Dragon Paragon coins are on the monthly DP chart, or you can get them from the level S10 bond dungeons, and I did make some guides for those if you need those. While this is the best way to get a token for an Eidolon that doesn't spawn in dungeons right now, you probably won't be able to farm those kind of coins in early game. However, because it's completely random which tokens you get out of those chests, you can probably buy them off other players for a relatively low price, as they will have rolled a bunch looking for one they need. Some of these have some really nice buffs, so make sure you equip them if you get them. As a final note, there are also shuffles available in the LP store to add extra stats to accessories and tokens, but I do recommend saving that for when you have a special main waifu or husbando as well. The final way to make your Eidolon stronger is to use mana Starstones on their skills to improve them. There's a wide variety of effects that you can get. They can improve debuffs or buffs or add extra effects. However, you need a lot of mana Starstones to get the most out of it, so I would actually recommend holding off on using them until you have a special fancy DPS Eidolon you want to make. You will receive some from the daily logins, and you can stack them up by linking your Eidolons as well. Just keep in mind that the non-tradable ones cannot go in your warehouse, so you will need to get them all on one character to make the most of them. That is a lot of ways to make your Eidolons stronger, but that is only half of what they do. It's time to talk about what Eidolons can do for your personal damage. Obviously, if they have debuff or buff skills, that right there is going to help you too, but there's so much more you can get from them. We talked earlier about how stars make you stronger, and it's true. When your Eidolon is summoned, you will receive a portion of their stats depending on how many stars you have. On top of that, if the star buff is activated, that's all for you, and it's cumulative. If you have 2 move speed stars, you get all 15% of that move speed. If you have 2 elemental skill damage stars, you get a 45% buff to that elemental damage. But Sometimes you have an Eidolon that is perfect in every way except stars. To handle that situation, you can use star shuffling scrolls to change them. When you use a shuffling scroll, you will get the choice to keep your current buff or switch to the new rolled one, so it's much more forgiving than most other shuffling systems in the game. Good things to have: elemental damage for your main skill's element, crit damage, assuming you know your cap and are at it, damage, self-explanatory, move speed, we love move speed. And I've said it before, but the double damage isn't terrible, but generally these other stats will be more effective at increasing your DPS. Next thing to talk about is wishes. Your Eidolon has 5 sets of items they wish for listed in their menu. If you can scrounge up the full set of items and feed it to them, you can increase your own stats permanently. These are very small stat increases, but over time they will add up. Unfortunately, it is a long grind, and you will need to get your hands on items from every profession: fishing, cooking, archaeology, and gathering. So just keep that in mind that when you get started, you will be delving into every corner of the game for these items. A neat note: even if you pick the same starter on several characters, you will need to feed, level, and shuffle their stars separately, but the wish carries over. So, you might want to grab all 5 starters on different characters so you can do all of their wishes. On each Eidolon's final wish, they will want 5 key fragments. I should add here that for cash shop Eidolons, or Eidolons you got lucky on Paragon for a key, you can actually receive fragments from linking them. That's rare, but not impossible to get. In most cases, finishing the wish should come after you've finished the 3 stars though. The tiny stat boost is not likely to be more helpful than getting them to 3 star, because of what we're about to talk about. The Archive. You've probably heard people talk about it all the time. The Archive is a log of Eidolons and sets, and by evolving them you unlock boosts in 2 ways. First, by starring up sets of Eidolons, you get these permanent boosts to various different stats on every character in your account. Everything from detail damage to pen is in there. These buffs add up significantly and are the reason why a player who has been grinding up Eidolons for a few years can solo dungeons in low gear while you might get one-shot. On top of that, irrespective of the stats, each Eidolon you level up the stars on will give you some points, which counts up to nice buffs in the Archive points reward. The Archive is endgame stat building. If you're just getting started, you will find much more value in a main Eidolon for your element, so I would recommend getting your hands on a QD to use before you start worrying about Archive sets. That being said, in my video about the LP store, I offhandedly remarked that I think the best Eidolon to choose with the free voucher that will be handed out at the end of this month would be Verdandi, and there's a few reasons for that. Number 1, all Eidolons available for exchange technically do drop fragments in-game. Number 2, all of them are available in the LP store. Number 3, Verdandi is only available in one Sky Tower chest, and it's very unlikely you're going to get her that way. And number 4, Verdandi is part of a pen archive, and if you're in mid-game, you probably need more pen. Your personal situation may make a different one a better choice, but if you have absolutely none of them, and none of them are an Eidolon you specifically want to use on the field, Verdandi is a safe choice. Next, we have a new archive-like feature that was added with the Mana Starstones called Skill Upgrade Rewards. Each skill you rank up on any Eidolon, which is 10 skill levels, will give you some points that count up here for some buffs. Unlike the archive point list, these are not cumulative. You will only get the effect listed on the active one, but rest assured, these buffs just keep adding on as you go. And finally, as you feed, level, and evolve your Eidolons, you will see your points counter go up. This counter actually unlocks the ability to use Eidolon emblems. That's gear for you to equip. You can buy them in Navia from the Eidolon Researcher, and they're also on the first row of the current Dragon Paragon, but you need both a high enough level and enough Eidolon points to equip them. You can add extra effects to these with various shuffle items, some of which are available in the LP store, and some of which you can get from daily logins. As you can probably see, in the long-term picture, Eidolons do wonders for your entire account. Each time you unlock a new one, you have a new avenue to stats, buffs, archives, and even gear. Eidolons really are the heart of Aura Kingdom. And that's why next time, in Eidolons 103, I'm going to be breaking down your Eidolon choices by element. As discussed before, Otohime is a great choice for everyone of every class, but I'll be doing a quick touch on the best free-to-play or cash Eidolons in every element to help you make a choice about which waifus or husbandos you should be working towards for your favorite class. Thank you so much for listening today, and I hope to catch you next time.